Good morning, fellow viewers. Here QC Warchief with the Minuteman Legacy. Today I'm gonna talk about the private worlds in Sea of Thieves. As most of you know, the private worlds are not released yet. They are in alpha release, so right now they are considered as a private test server for the partners and developers. But it's further than just the partners and developers. It's mostly related to the big community, mostly national community, regrouped under language, where you can enter and have access to a private world. Everything is written on their website. You guys can apply to enter into a community in order to be able to access a private world. But I'm not gonna tell you that it's gonna be perfect, because as far as I've read, I'm not able to stream, I'm not able to take any capture out of these worlds. It's really restricted to the publisher and the partners, and if I'm getting any information in there and I'm releasing it, I'm gonna get sued. First of all, the private worlds, never released yet inside the game, for the simple reason that the publisher tends to believe that PvP is an essential part of Sea of Thieves, and I don't agree there. Honestly, in the release, the game was released as a PvE/PvP sandbox, which means it has place for both player base. And ever since the release, so far, it's been a game where PvP are literally taking over every single PvE players they are seeing, just for the simple pleasure of taking their loot and ruining their night. That's a huge problem. A really huge problem that we have also in other games, as example Fallout 76, where you can attack everybody that has a workshop. Back in the days, you could be able to attack everybody around without any restriction, and people were using the excuse of the wasteland. Oh, that's a wasteland, it's not normal that I'm forced to ask for a duel. No, that's not a wasteland, that's a video game with people sitting in their living room, probably coming back from work, that just want to chill in a video game. If you want to play PvP, go play Call of Duty, play Nuclear Winter, go play Arena in Sea of Thieves. That fits nicely. I don't see why I will automatically go straight to the easy target just because I want to ego boost myself and think I'm the best, as I'm actually fighting the worst PvP player there is on the player base. You guys are really good. Keep going. Essentially, private worlds will segregate the player base. Let's not lie to ourselves. It's not necessarily a good thing for a player base, because most often than not, PvP players are in minority. They are, from my sample, which is not a scientific sample completely through, but from what I'm seeing, it's around 25, 30 to 35% of the player base that are really active in the PvP. I'm sorry to say, but you guys are in minority. PvP doesn't own the market. PvE own the market. And it's why most of the games are PvE. It's why most of the mechanic inside Fallout, inside Sea of Thieves, is related to PvE, not PvP. Because I'm sorry to say, but what was the first thing you were doing if you were a PvP player in the release of the game? You took a sword, you took a sniper, and you start shooting people. 3 years later, what are you doing in the game? You take a sword, you take a rifle, and you keep shooting people, and you don't have much creativity there. PvE players will find their fun in every single aspect of the environment. And when they are enjoying the environment, as example in Sea of Thieves, they often get backstabbed by another ship that stops there, sink their sloop before they have the time to come back to their sloop, lose all their loot, and get killed really fast and spawn back on their ship with frustration, anger, and bitterness because they just lost 2 hours of their gaming time to probably a wicked kids that is running with a powerful internet link, bandwidth, powerful router, and probably the most powerful PC or console that there is on the market. Right now, the game is making us fight and share the same world, which is really good for the player base in PvE. Because if you add up the PvE in the middle of that, you make the PvE compete with the PvP, and you add up the last generation of console, the new one, the PC players on that. Are you freaking kidding me, Rare? You really think that this is a fair fight competing with the people that are loading in the game 30 seconds faster than me, man? Well, 30 seconds, I'm not generous, man. To be honest, sometimes I feel like they're spawning 3 minutes before me, and I stay in the loading screen for 2-3 minutes when I come back and my sloop is freaking sunk. It's a nonsense. I barely can defend myself. It's not because I can't fight, it's because I can't load. So it's a freaking nonsense there. And this brings us back also to the fact that private worlds would just give us the chance. And when I'm talking give us, I'm an hardcore player. I'm saying giving us the chance because in the community, in the general player base, the hardcore gamers represent a really small portion of the gamer again. We do that for a living almost. But the players that are coming back from work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon from an exhausting day at work, maybe they work public domain and they were forced to deal with a lot of people during the day, they're coming back from work after dinner, they sit on their living room and they start a game, and the first thing that happens is that they get attacked by a stupid kid. This is a nonsense. This casual player should have the right to be able to enjoy the game without having to be forced to deal with the wicked behavior of the kids that are raised on their console instead of being raised by their parents. Because I'm sorry guys, if you would see me pointing right now, you have a responsibility towards your kids and towards their action on the network. I'm pretty sure that if your kid start DDoSing people around, that he start hacking some other players, I'm pretty sure that you'll know fast enough that you will have a responsibility towards that. That kind of closed the debate around the private world, where we casual gamers want to have an environment where we can enjoy the game without having to deal with the wicked hardcore gamers that are bored from the game because they are there from the release, and the only thing they're able to do in the game because they're out of creativity is load up a gun and shoot you straight in the head. That's a reality inside the game that we're forced to deal with, and I quote private worlds in Sea of Thieves, I quote private worlds in Fallout 76, but there are so many more games that have that problem. So publisher, please listen to that. I've been playing games for over 25 years now. I've never seen any game where PvEers can share a world with PvPers and not having any toxicity and behavior problem around it. It's two kind of players that don't fit together. We fit together as long as the mechanic inside the game is protecting one from another. It's not normal that somebody can attack and trigger an attack on me in every kind of situation in Fallout 76. This has changed. In Sea of Thieves, I get that it's part of the mechanic that the PvP is there, but I don't understand why people would not have access to private world, or at least a fraction of the map as a private world, where they can just chill, fish, and do their adventure there. Because it's a nonsense for me that the older guy like me just get in the game, try to play, and lose 2 hours of his gameplay to somebody that just wanted to attack everybody around. Because let's be honest, any players in Sea of Thieves that are going forward into attacking will have an advantage, because this guy is sailing. This guy is not sitting duck for you to see and attack. So this guy's gonna sail around, and if you make the mistake to drop your anchor and sit on the side of an island, you're a prime target. So guys, I hope we'll get those private worlds. I think this is part of the deal to pressurize the company. Rare needs to understand and start listening to their player base instead of listening to their wicked streamers that literally brought them some lawsuit. You guys don't want to talk about that, but when the streamers are making collective lawsuit against the company, it tells a lot where the devs are sitting. And I'm sorry to say, in Rare, devs are sitting on the wrong side of the barrier. You guys are encouraging toxicity, and that needs to change. This is QC Warchief with the Minuteman Legacy. We stand for a constructive gaming environment, and we want more out of the publisher that encourage the stuff like that. Please comment, please like, please come back. I'm really keen to see what you think about that, because I really think that it's a huge debate that we kind of need to talk about. Have a good one, everybody.